It is Tuesday morning, October 14th, 2026. You wake up. The sun is shining through the blinds just like it did yesterday. The coffee pot is gurgling in the kitchen. It feels like a normal day. You have a meeting across town at 10 a.m. You grab your keys, get into your car, and pull out of the driveway. The dashboard navigation lights up, but instead of the usual blue route line, there is a flashing amber border around your neighborhood on the screen. You ignore it, probably just a software update or a traffic alert. You drive 3 miles. Everything is fine. You pass the invisible boundary line that separates Zone A, your home, from Zone B, the business district. There are no gates, there are no armed guards, there is no barbed wire, just a camera on a pole, blinking once as you pass beneath it. You arrive at the coffee shop near your meeting point. You order a black coffee and a bagel. The total is $12. You tap your phone against the terminal. A sharp, dissonant beep echoes through the quiet shop. Declined. You frown. You know you have money. You got paid yesterday. You try again. Declined. Then a notification slides down onto your phone screen. It is not from your bank. It is from the Central Wallet Authority. It reads, "Transaction denied. Geo-fence violation. You have exceeded your carbon mobility allotment for Zone B. Please return to Zone A to resume spending privileges." Your stomach drops. You look around the shop. The barista is not looking at you. He is looking at the line of people behind you. They are not looking at you either. They are looking at their phones, checking their own zones, checking if they are allowed to buy milk, checking if they are allowed to exist in this space economically. You have cash in your pocket, a $20 bill you saved. You offer it to the barista. He shakes his head, looking terrified. "I can't take that," he whispers. "The registers are digital only. If I take paper, the sensors pick it up. I lose my vendor license." You walk out of the shop empty-handed. Your car starts, but the navigation screen has changed color. It is red now. "Warning," the synthetic voice says. "Congestion charge active. Deducting 50 credits per minute until return to Zone A." You are not in a prison cell. You are in your own city. But you are locked down, and the bars of this cage are not made of steel. They are made of code. Welcome to the simulation. Where are you watching from right now? Are you in a city, a suburb, or out in the country? Put it in the comments, because where you are right now might determine how much freedom you have left in 5 years. This scenario sounds like science fiction. It sounds like a dystopian novel you read in high school. But if you look at the architecture of our modern cities, the infrastructure is already being poured. We need to talk about the concept of the 15-minute city. On paper, it sounds like paradise. The World Economic Forum and urban planners sell it as a utopia of convenience. Everything you need, your doctor, your grocery store, your school, your gym, all within a 15-minute walk or bike ride from your front door. Who would not want that? Less traffic, cleaner air, more time with the family. It is marketed as the ultimate freedom, the freedom from the commute. But history teaches us a very different lesson about what happens when the government decides where you should live, where you should work, and where you are allowed to go. Let us look at the hukou system in China. Established in the 1950s, it tied every citizen's access to social services like healthcare, education, and food rations to their place of birth. If you were born in a rural village,
You could not simply move to Beijing to find work. If you did, you were an illegal alien in your own country. You could not send your kids to school. You could not see a doctor. You were economically paralyzed unless you stayed in your assigned zone. Sound familiar? Let us look closer to home. During the gas rationing of the 1970s in the United States and Europe, you were only allowed to buy fuel on certain days based on your license plate number. Your ability to move was dictated by a central authority managing a crisis. It was sold as a temporary measure to save the economy. It was sold as a patriotic duty. Sound familiar? And then, look at the very recent past, 2020, Melbourne, Australia, the Ring of Steel. Police checkpoints were set up to prevent people from moving between the metropolitan area and regional Victoria. You needed a permit to leave your zone. You needed a valid reason to cross the line. If your reason was not on the government's list, you were turned back or fined. It was done for public safety. It was done to flatten the curve. Sound familiar? The pattern is undeniable. Every major restriction on human movement in the last century was introduced as a solution to a crisis, a war, a famine, a pandemic, a climate emergency. The mechanism is always the same. First, they restrict movement physically, gates, walls, checkpoints. But physical barriers are expensive. They require manpower. They require police. People rebel against walls because they can see them. So the architects of the new economy have found a better way. A wall you cannot see. A wall you cannot climb over. A wall that lives inside your wallet. In the simulation we just started, you were not stopped by a police officer. You were stopped by your own money. This is the fusion of the 15-minute city urban planning model with central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. The 15-minute city provides the geographic zones. The CBDC provides the enforcement mechanism. Currently, cities like Oxford in the UK are already trialing traffic filters. They call them low-traffic neighborhoods. Cameras scan your plate. If you drive through a zone you do not live in at the wrong time, you get a fine. Right now, that fine comes in the mail. It is a nuisance. You can fight it in court. But what happens when the money is automatic? What happens when the money is programmable? The terrifying reality is that they do not need to build a single fence to turn your neighborhood into an open-air prison. They just need to program your money to work only within a 5-kilometer radius. You think this is impossible? You think the technology does not exist? You think your government wouldn't go that far? Stay with me, because I'm about to show you the patent documents and the white papers that describe exactly how this works. But the receipt is wilder than you think.
Let us resume the simulation. We are moving from the immediate shock of day one into the grinding reality of the first month. This is how an economic lockdown actually kills a society. It does not happen with an explosion. It happens with a slow suffocation. Day 3. The initial confusion has turned to panic. The news channels are calling it the Smart City Stabilization Initiative. The talking heads on the screen are explaining that due to supply chain volatility and excessive carbon output, spending must be localized to stabilize prices. They use soft words: sustainability, equity, community focus. But you look at your phone. Your digital wallet has a new tab called Mobility Score. It is currently in the red because you tried to buy coffee in Zone B on Tuesday. You need to buy medicine for your mother. The pharmacy in your zone, Zone A, is out of stock. The pharmacy in Zone B has it. You drive there, you walk in, you grab the bottle, you go to the counter. The total is $20. You scan your phone. The terminal beeps.
Zone surcharge applied. The total is now $45. This is the first mechanism of control, algorithmic inflation. They do not have to ban you from buying things. They just make it mathematically impossible for you to survive outside your designated pen. The system penalizes cross-zone economic activity. If you are poor, you are now physically stuck. Only the rich can afford the mobility tax. Week 1, the impact hits the small businesses first. Your favorite Italian restaurant is in Zone C, but 60% of their customers used to come from Zones A and B. Now those customers are being surcharged to eat there, so they stop coming. The restaurant is empty. The owner cannot pay his staff. Meanwhile, the big chain grocery store, let us call it Global Mart, has been granted universal zone status by the government. Because they are a strategic partner in the food supply chain, payments made at Global Mart are exempt from geo-fencing fees. Do you see what just happened? The government just picked the winner. Small, independent businesses die because their customers are geo-blocked. Mega corporations thrive because they have the political connections to bypass the code. This is the death of the free market. It is the birth of the techno-feudal state. Week 2, you try to find a workaround. You have an old lawnmower you want to sell to a guy in Zone D. He offers you cash. You agree. You meet in a parking lot between zones. It feels like a drug deal, but you are just selling a lawnmower. He hands you paper bills. You take them. But where can you spend them? The grocery store will not take them. The gas station will not take them. Your landlord demands digital payment because the rental contract is on the blockchain. Cash has become a collector's item. It has value, but no utility. The black market begins to form, but it is dangerous. Drones patrolling the low-traffic neighborhoods are equipped with thermal imaging. They are not looking for heat leaks. They are looking for unauthorized gatherings, unsanctioned economic activity. Week 3, the psychological toll sets in. You realize that your world has shrunk. You have not seen your friends from across town in 20 days. Video calls are allowed, but they are monitored for misinformation regarding the stabilization initiative. You start to resent the people in Zone B. Rumors fly that Zone B has better meat rations this week, that Zone B has a higher mobility allowance. Tribalism returns. The 15-minute city has not created a community. It has created ghettos, and they are pitted against each other. Let us look at the numbers, because this is not just a story. These are the statistics that are building this reality right now. Number 1, Oxfordshire County Council in the UK. They approved a plan to divide the city into 6 zones. Private cars are banned from driving between them during the day. The fine for crossing the line is £70. That's nearly $100 per infraction. That is the prototype. Number 2, China's social credit system. Over 23 million people have been banned from purchasing plane or train tickets because their score was too low. That is a geofence. That is an economic lockdown based on behavior.
Number 3. According to the Bank for International Settlements, 93% of the world's central banks are currently researching or developing a CBDC. 93%. This is not a coincidence. It is a synchronized global rollout. Number 4. The C40 Cities initiative. This is a coalition of nearly 100 mayors from the world's leading cities like New York, London, Paris, and Seoul.
Their stated ambitious target for 2030 includes 0 private vehicles. Not 0 gas cars, 0 private vehicles. How do you enforce 0 private vehicles? You make it impossible to pay for gas, charging, or parking outside of a tiny approved radius. Number 5. The inflation differential. In our simulation, we saw prices jump 20 to 30% just by crossing a street. Dynamic pricing is already here. Uber uses it. Amazon uses it. Wendy's announced they wanted to test it. Apply dynamic pricing to your location via a CBDC, and you have the ultimate control mechanism. Day 30 of the simulation. You wake up. You do not try to go to Zone B anymore. It is too much hassle. It is too expensive. You accept your radius. You accept that the app knows where you are. You accept that your money is an allowance, not property. You have become a resident of the digital panopticon. And the scariest part? It feels safe. The streets are quiet. There is no traffic. The chaos of liberty has been replaced by the order of confinement. Let us step out of the simulation and look at the real world. Look at the calendar. We are inching closer to 2030. The infrastructure is being installed under your nose. Those ULEZ cameras in London, the license plate readers in New York, the smart city lights in your local suburb. They are not there to help you park. They are the bars of the cage. Right now, you can still drive away. Right now, you can still use cash. Right now, you can still buy gold or silver or Bitcoin and hold it outside the system. But the window is closing.
The denial phase is the most dangerous phase. It is the phase where you tell yourself, they would never do that. This is America. This is Europe. We are free. But freedom is not a default setting. It is an anomaly in history, and the powers that be are correcting the anomaly. They are building the 15-minute city not to give you back your time, but to take back your world, to shrink your horizon down to a 5-kilometer loop. Do not wait until the navigation screen turns red. Do not wait until the terminal beeps declined. Prepare your assets, build your local networks, and stop using the convenience that is being used to enslave you. We are going to be covering the specific tools you need to bypass this digital dragnet in our next documentary. We will talk about privacy coins, Faraday cages, and parallel economies. If you want the unfiltered truth that the algorithm tries to bury, you need to subscribe right now. The lockdown is coming. Do not be inside the zone when the gate closes.